Appreciate it. Like always, really appreciate you guys coming, giving up some time of your day to be here with us. Not going to talk much about last week unless you guys have questions on it, but really proud of our team, how they competed and how they played at Bowling Green against a really good football team and also in some very difficult and adverse weather conditions. So that was a great win for us to go on the road and beat a really good team like Bowling Green. So with Louisiana Tech coming in this weekend, again, Skip has done a phenomenal job there. He's a great coach, does a really good job with his team. And, they're 1-2. They're coming off, they got beat in the opening game by Arkansas. Everybody, I think, knows how good Arkansas is now. They lost to them by a point on the road, and then last week they got beat by another Power 5 in Texas Tech. So it's they've got a really good football team. They had a good team last year. Statistically, if you look at them, they're right up there at the top in just about every offensive category. And, defensively, they had to replace a lot of people on their defense, but they signed or brought in a lot of graduate transfers. They got a starting linebacker from Texas. They got another starting linebacker who we recruited out of junior college, who went to Iowa State and then graduated from there and is now with them. They've got a starting corner from Houston Baptist, a graduate, and then another one from Arizona State and a backup from Oregon. So they replaced the guys that they lost with some experience in getting these graduate transfers. They lost a really good player, a number one draft pick, not a number one, but a first-round draft pick in the defensive line last year. But I still think that's the strength of their defense is their front. They're active, they're big, they can run. And then I think, it's hard to you look at them statistically. You guys are going to look at them statistically and think that they're maybe not quite as good defensively, but they are. You got to take in hand who they've played to these three games. So it's a really good defense, in my opinion. They're good in the back end. Their kicking game, their special teams, they're really good. Doing a nice job. Third down conversion. They're right behind us. We're at 51%. They're at 47 or 49. So they're doing a lot of good things, in critical situations. Really impressed with their receiver. He was first team all-conference last year. He's a really good football player. He's a tough kid. I said it in the preseason. I thought he was, obviously one of the top 2 or 3 receivers in this conference. So he's really good. I think the running back is good. He's averaging over 100 yards a game. Their quarterback, it's not his first year playing, so they got some experience there at that position, and their offensive line is good. So this is a really good football team that's coming in here. That's going to present a lot of challenges in a lot of different ways for us. So expect a dogfight, expect a 4-quarter game. That's what this end game will end up being. So we've got to play and continue to improve ourselves and get ready for a good football game this weekend.
Can you tell us a little bit about what Trent Taylor, what makes him so dangerous and what you've seen? If you had an opportunity to meet him in the preseason, or what makes him so dangerous out in space?
Well, I've met him. I met him at the Conference USA Media Day. So I've met him. He's a great person, phenomenal young man. Got a lot of respect for him. What makes him a good player, he's smart, he's tough. He competes on every down. He's got a great desire to not be tackled. So he's a complete football player. He's their punt returner. He loves the game. He competes And if you'll have those characteristics, plus he catches the ball well, he's got good hands. But I just think the intangibles make him a good player. His toughness, his competitiveness, his desire, his will not to be tackled makes him a good player.
Coach, your defense shut out Bowling Green in the second half, and you forced 4 turnovers. What do you guys need to carry over from that game into this game?
Well, I thought we did a nice job defensively. They scored 21 points. I think it was like 10 minutes left in the second quarter, and they had 21, so they don't score in really the last 2.5 quarters of the game. I thought we did a nice job of not giving up big plays, explosive plays. We created 3 turnovers on defense, then 1 on the kicking game. We got to do a better job of stopping the run. In that game, the second half, and the weather was miserable the whole game. But the second half was, if it can be twice as bad, it was twice as bad as the first half. The second half really turned into a middle drill, an inside drill, because it was so difficult to throw the ball. So we did a good job. We got stops. We didn't give up big plays defensively. But the thing that stands out to me, we've got to do a better job of stopping the run than what we have the last couple of weeks.
Coach, you got to be glad to not be facing Kenneth Dixon again this year. But Jared Kraft is off to a pretty good start himself. How does Kraft compare in style and talent-wise to Dixon from what you've seen?
Well, obviously, Dixon was a great back. You don't score that many touchdowns over your career and not be a good back. But this one, I think he may be faster, He may be faster. He looks a little bit more explosive. But like I said, he's averaging over 100 yards a game through these first 3 games. So he's a good back. Again, I haven't, I watched a little bit of film last night and watching film today here. So it's a little premature for me to say some things. But he looks like he's just as dangerous out of the backfield catching the ball. They utilize Dixon a lot in the passing game, and it looks like they're doing the same, with Kraft. So he's a dangerous back. He's explosive. Comparing the two, I think it's a little bit unfair because of what Dixon did over the course of his career. But this guy's a good back. He can run. He's fast.
Rick, you talked about Louisiana Tech having several grad transfers. You've got a couple this year. Is there an art to that or a different dynamic than normal recruiting?
Yeah, because you really don't find out about them until after signing date. And, Dennis has, come in. He's done a nice job. And Deontay, he's contributing to us on special teams. So unless you've got a connection, you got somebody that at another school that says, hey, this guy's going to graduate. And I'm sure that's probably what happened with Skip getting the linebacker from Texas. Skip's son, is the holder at Texas. So, and he and Charlie Strong coached together, so I'm sure there was some communication there. But unless you just somebody or somebody that contacts you, at the end of spring, because that's when most of them graduate. It's different because you got to have a scholarship available, and then 2, you got to, be at the right place, I guess, to find somebody that's interested in coming to your school.
Coach, during the past 2 games, you've lost 2 punt returns, which have led to opposing points. Special teams has been a struggle at times. Do you anticipate a change at punt returner, and is there going to be an extra emphasis placed on special teams this week?
There'll be no extra emphasis placed on special teams. We emphasize it just as much every game. I think we've been really good on kickoff coverage. I think we're punting the ball really good. I think we're protecting really good. Our kickoff return game hasn't been as good as it needs to be. And then our punt block team, our attack team, has done a nice job. We've blocked a punt. Richie's put the ball on the ground twice. He's made 2 poor decisions. One on fielding it, and then one, he tried to make something happen out of nothing there in that game, and got the ball stripped out of him. But I got all the confidence in the world in Richie, and there won't be any changes made back there other than he'll continue to get coached and he'll continue to learn each game. The value of protecting the ball. Appreciate you guys coming. Thanks for everything. Have a great day.